In the constellation of Hollywood legends, few stars burn with the quiet intensity of Harrison Ford. For over 5 decades, this enigmatic craftsman has defined cinematic heroism through iconic roles as Han Solo, Indiana Jones, and Rick Deckard, building a legacy founded on understated excellence and an almost pathological aversion to Hollywood's manufactured charm. Behind the laconic wit and effortless screen presence lies one of the industry's most uncompromising perfectionists. An actor whose dedication to authenticity has created some of cinema's most memorable conflicts with fellow performers who couldn't match his exacting standards. Ford's reputation as Hollywood's most reluctant star masks a deeper truth about his approach to craft. Unlike actors who court publicity and embrace the performative aspects of celebrity, Ford has consistently treated acting as serious work deserving serious commitment. His conflicts weren't born of ego or temperament, but of fundamental disagreements about professionalism, preparation, and respect for the collaborative process that film demands. When Ford declares he won't work with someone again, it carries weight precisely because his standards are rooted in craft rather than personality. Today, we explore 6 actors whose creative differences with Ford became so irreconcilable that they fundamentally altered the trajectory of potential collaborations, revealing the steely determination that lies beneath one of Hollywood's most enduring and enigmatic personalities. Number 6. Shia LaBeouf. The generational chasm in Hollywood's acting community reached its most explosive manifestation when Harrison Ford encountered the unpredictable creative force of Shia LaBeouf during Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Their collaboration represented more than a simple clash of acting styles. It embodied the collision between Ford's old-school professionalism and LaBeouf's experimental approach to character development that had begun reshaping contemporary performance standards in ways that fundamentally challenge Ford's understanding of proper set behavior. The tension ignited from their first rehearsal when LaBeouf's unconventional preparation methods immediately clashed with Ford's structured, no-nonsense approach to character work. According to stunt coordinator Vic Armstrong, Harrison treats every scene like precision engineering. Shia treated every moment like an emotional archaeological dig. They were working from completely different philosophical frameworks about what acting should accomplish. The conflict intensified when LaBeouf's method preparation began affecting other cast members, creating what Ford perceived as unnecessary chaos that threatened the disciplined environment he demanded for optimal performance. The breaking point came during a pivotal father-son scene where LaBeouf's improvisational additions prompted Ford to halt filming, leading to what witnesses described as a masterclass in professional restraint meeting youthful rebellion. Producer Frank Marshall later revealed that Ford's post-production comments made his position unmistakably clear. There's a difference between commitment to character and commitment to chaos, and Harrison won't enable the latter. The tension became so palpable that crew members noted Ford's visible relief when LaBeouf's scenes wrapped, with one veteran observer commenting that Ford looked like someone who had survived a beautiful but exhausting storm. Number 5. Sean Young. The most psychologically complex conflict in Harrison. Ford's career emerged during the production of Blade Runner, where his professional relationship with Sean Young devolved into a cautionary tale about the dangerous intersection of method acting and personal obsession. Their clash transcended typical on-set disagreements to become a battle over boundaries, professionalism, and the limits of character immersion that would haunt both actors for decades and fundamentally alter Ford's approach to working with intensely committed performers. The tension began during rehearsals when Young's deep psychological preparation for Rachel conflicted with Ford's preference for keeping character work separate from personal interaction. Director Ridley Scott recalled, "Sean lived in character continuously, which meant Harrison was never quite sure if he was talking to the actress or the replicant. For someone who values clear professional boundaries, this was deeply unsettling." The situation escalated when Young's method approach began affecting their off-camera interactions, creating what Ford perceived as an uncomfortable blurring of professional and personal space. The conflict reached its notorious peak during the film's romantic scenes, where Young's intensity made Ford visibly uncomfortable, leading to what cinematographer Jordan Cronenweth described as the most awkward professional chemistry I've ever witnessed. Ford's later admission that working with Young felt like navigating a psychological minefield revealed the depth of his discomfort with her approach. Number 4. Tommy Lee Jones. The collision between Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones during The Fugitive became one of Hollywood's most legendary examples of two alpha personalities discovering that mutual respect doesn't guarantee collaborative harmony. Their conflict emerged from fundamentally different approaches to character development and set dynamics, with Ford's methodical preparation style clashing against Jones's improvisational intensity in ways that created electric on-screen tension, while making off-camera collaboration increasingly difficult and psychologically demanding for both actors. The tension crystallized during their first major scene together, when Jones's spontaneous character choices forced Ford to constantly adjust his carefully calibrated performance rhythms. According to director Andrew Davis, Tommy approached every scene like jazz improvisation, changing rhythms and emphases with each take. Harrison needed consistent beats to build his character's arc. They were both brilliant, but creating completely different movies. The conflict intensified when Jones began altering dialogue delivery in ways that affected Ford's reaction timing, leading to heated discussions about professional courtesy and collaborative responsibility. The breaking point came during the tunnel confrontation sequence, where Jones's unpredictable energy made Ford's precision-based acting style nearly impossible to maintain. Number 3, Julia Roberts. The unexpected friction between Harrison Ford and Julia Roberts during a shelved romantic drama project shocked Hollywood insiders, who assumed two of America's most bankable stars would create perfect commercial chemistry. Their conflict emerged from fundamentally different approaches to star persona and character development, with Ford's understated authenticity clashing against Roberts' more performative charisma in ways that made genuine romantic chemistry impossible to achieve despite multiple script rewrites and extended rehearsal periods. The tension reached its peak during chemistry reads, when Roberts' natural tendency toward theatrical emotion conflicted with Ford's preference for subtle, realistic character interaction. Director Mike Nichols, who attempted to navigate their partnership, recalled, "Julia's charm operates at a frequency that requires acknowledgement and response. Harrison's appeal comes from what he doesn't show, what he holds back. They were like two different instruments, trying to play the same song in different keys." The situation deteriorated when Ford's subdued reaction to Roberts' more animated performance style left her feeling unsupported, while her attempts to generate energy made him retreat further into his characteristic reserve. The breaking point came during a pivotal romantic scene where their incompatible energies created what cinematographer Sven Nykvist described as the absence of chemistry so profound it became almost fascinating to watch. Ford's later admission that he felt like he was acting opposite a performance rather than a person revealed the depth of their disconnect. Roberts' reported frustration that Ford was emotionally unavailable even in character highlighted their fundamental incompatibility. Number 2, Kevin Costner. The derailed collaboration between Harrison Ford and Kevin Costner on a Western epic became legendary in Hollywood development circles as a masterclass in ego collision disguised as creative differences. Their conflict emerged during pre-production, when both actors' desire for character control and story influence created an impossible dynamic where compromise became tantamount to creative surrender, with neither star willing to accept a subordinate role in what both envisioned as their definitive Western statement. The tension exploded during script development meetings, where Ford's preference for character-driven storytelling clashed with Costner's epic scope vision that prioritized visual spectacle and historical sweep over intimate character moments. Producer Lawrence Kasdan recalled, "Harrison wanted to explore the psychological cost of frontier violence on individuals. Kevin wanted to capture the mythic grandeur of American expansion. They were making completely different films while reading the same script." The situation reached crisis level when both actors began requesting script changes that would diminish the other's role, creating what screenwriter William Goldman described as a creative death spiral where each revision made collaboration more impossible. The breaking point came during a heated development meeting where Ford questioned Costner's understanding of character motivation, prompting what witnesses described as the most polite but devastating confrontation in modern Hollywood history. Costner's reported response that Ford was trying to turn an epic into a therapy session effectively ended any possibility of collaboration. Agent Mike Oitz, who represented both stars, later revealed that their conflict represented two legitimate artistic visions destroying each other through pure incompatibility and mutual stubbornness. Number 1. Mel Gibson. At the apex of Harrison Ford's most significant conflicts stands his relationship with Mel Gibson, a confrontation that cuts to the very heart of Hollywood's evolving standards about professionalism, personal conduct, and the separation between an artist's private beliefs and their collaborative responsibilities. Their conflict emerged during the development of multiple potential projects where Gibson's controversial public statements and personal behavior created an impossible dynamic that Ford, with his deeply held beliefs about professional courtesy and workplace respect, found increasingly difficult to navigate or tolerate. The tension crystallized during pre-production meetings for an action thriller where Gibson's off-camera conduct began affecting the collaborative atmosphere that Ford considered essential for optimal creative work. According to producer Jerry Bruckheimer, Harrison operates from a baseline of mutual respect and professional dignity. Mel's personal controversies created an environment where that baseline became impossible to maintain. They weren't just making different movies. They were operating from different moral universes. The conflict intensified when Gibson's public statements began affecting potential cast members' willingness to participate, creating what Ford perceived as unnecessary obstacles to the collaborative process that effective film demanded. The breaking point came when Ford privately expressed concerns about Gibson's conduct to studio executives, leading to what insiders described as the most principled stand against tolerance of intolerance in recent Hollywood memory. Ford's reported statement that he couldn't work with someone whose personal conduct compromised the professional environment for other collaborators represented more than artistic disagreement. It embodied his fundamental belief that creative work requires an atmosphere of mutual respect that Gibson's behavior made impossible to sustain. Ford's conflicts reveal an artist who chose craft over commerce, proving that true professionalism sometimes requires difficult choices about collaborative partners and creative integrity. Subscribe for more Hollywood revelations.